the subterranean ley line. Alex's boots crunched over the shattered, crystalline remains of the Glasshounds as he made his way out of the alley. The transition back from the veil to mundane reality felt like stepping out of a walk-in freezer into a humid summer evening. The heavy, ozone-scented air vanished, replaced by the familiar smells of exhaust fumes, stale beer, and rain-slicked asphalt. He pulled his hood up and took the long way back to his basement apartment, his mind racing faster than his pounding heart. Once securely locked inside his cramped, mold-scented room, Alex didn't bother turning on the lights. The ambient cyan glow from his system interface was more than enough. He sat cross-legged on his mattress, pulled a cup of black truffle ramen from his inventory, and ate it cold. He didn't care, his attention was entirely on the new tab blinking at the top of his holographic display. System store unlocked, he mentally selected it. The window expanded, filling his vision with rows of digital items, weapons, and consumables. Available wares, level 1 user, item name. Type. Cost. Description. Basic stamina potion. Consumable 50 credits. Restores 50% of physical energy immediately. Whale tracker. Tool 300 credits. A compass that points to the nearest whale fracture. Skill upgrade scroll, minor, enhancement 1000 credits. Slightly enhances the efficiency or power of an E or D rank skill. Void crystal exchange. Currency. NA. Sell void crystals to the system for 25 credits each. 3 void crystals equals 75 credits, Alex calculated, tapping his chin. Combined with his initial 150, he had 225 system credits. Not enough for the whale tracker, but he didn't need a compass anyway. He had something better. He had Grandmaster data proficiency. Alex fired up his battered, second-hand laptop. Before the system, it took 5 minutes just to boot up. Now, his hands flew across the keyboard in a blur of motion. He didn't just write code, he manipulated the operating system at its foundational level, bypassing his computer's hardware limitations by streamlining every process. If the whale is a spatial anomaly, it has to leave a digital footprint in the real world, Alex muttered, his eyes reflecting lines of rapidly scrolling data. Unexplained power grid fluctuations. Spikes in subterranean seismic activity that don't match fault lines. GPS dead zones. He spent the next 4 hours scraping data from the city's public works database, the transit authority, and amateur meteorology forums. By 2 a.m., he had built a predictive heat map of the city. Most of the city showed minor blips, E and D rank anomalies, like the alleyway. But there was a massive, glowing crimson sinkhole of anomalous data concentrated right in the center of the metropolis, buried deep beneath the streets. The old City Hall subway station, Alex whispered. Abandoned in the 1940s, it was a masterpiece of subterranean architecture, complete with vaulted ceilings and skylights. And according to his newly written algorithm, it was sitting directly on top of a massive intersection of magical energy. An S-grade magical location. Chapter 5, The Heart of the City. The next night, the city above ground was battered by a torrential downpour, but down in the maintenance tunnels of the subway system, it was bone dry and suffocatingly hot. Alex slipped through a rusted grate he'd pried open using a crowbar, which, thanks to his kinetic immunity, he had used without tearing a single callus on his hands. He wore his ruined, bullet-holed hoodie as a badge of honor, his hands shoved in his pockets as he navigated the pitch-black tunnels. He didn't need a flashlight. The faint, pulsing blue glow of the signer's mark on his right hand provided just enough illumination to avoid tripping over the rats. His system timer hovered in his peripheral vision. Daily sign-in cooldown, 0 hours 14 minutes and 32 seconds, 14 minutes until midnight. 14 minutes until he could sign in again. As he walked deeper, the ambient noise of the active subway lines above faded, replaced by a low, rhythmic thrumming that vibrated in his teeth. The air grew thick and heavy, smelling heavily of ozone and ancient stone. He was approaching the whale. Alex rounded a corner and stopped. The maintenance tunnel ended abruptly, opening up into a cavernous space that defied all logic. It was the abandoned City Hall station, but it had been warped by the whale. The beautiful, arch-tiled ceilings were cracked, with massive, glowing amber roots pushing through the masonry. The old train tracks didn't lead to another tunnel. They spiraled downward into a bottomless chasm filled with swirling, violet mist. The air was saturated with floating, golden geometric symbols that hummed with latent power. System alert. Extreme spatial anomaly detected. You have entered a whale nexus. Threat level, S. Warning. High-level entities occupy this space. Survival probability without magical shielding is less than 4%. Good thing I'm just here to push a button, Alex murmured. He stepped onto the cracked platform. The moment his boot touched the vintage tiles, the ambient humming stopped. The silence that followed was heavy and hostile. From the violet mist in the chasm below, something began to rise. It was massive, easily 3 stories tall. It looked like an armored knight made entirely of jagged, glowing purple crystals and rusted subway iron. In its hands, it held a massive broadsword formed from a twisted steel I-beam. It had no face, only a single, burning white rune where its head should be. Entity analysis, designation, threat level, damage type, weakness, ley line warden, A+, magical, kinetic, unknown, A+, Alex breathed, taking a slow step back. Right. Okay. S-grade locations come with S-grade security. The warden raised its colossal I-beam sword and swung it horizontally. The blade didn't even come close to Alex, but it didn't need to. A wave of concussive, violet magic erupted from the swing, tearing up the platform tiles and hurtling toward him like a tsunami of shattered ceramic and raw power. Alex crossed his arms over his face, bracing himself. Crash. The kinetic force of the debris bounced harmlessly off his skin, but the magical wave sent him flying backward. He slammed into a tiled pillar, the wind knocked out of him. His kinetic immunity kept his bones from breaking, but the magical energy seared his skin like a bad sunburn. User health status, minor magical burns detected. Integrity at 88%. Immunity has its limits, Alex wheezed, scrambling to his feet. He glanced at the timer. Daily sign-in cooldown, 0 hours 0 minutes and 15 seconds, 15 seconds. The warden was pulling itself fully out of the chasm, its massive boots cracking the platform edge. It raised its sword for an overhead strike, the white rune on its face flaring with blinding intensity. "Hey, ugly!" Alex shouted, raising his right hand. The blue symbols flared. Apex aura. Chime. The massive, quarter-scale spectral skull of the Tyrannosaurus Rex materialized in a burst of amber light, roaring in defiance. Alex sent it charging forward. The ghostly T-Rex clamped its jaws around the warden's swinging arm. The warden paused, startled by the spectral beast, but it was an A+ threat. It simply wrenched its arm back, dragging the phantom T-Rex with it, and punched the dinosaur in the ribs with its free hand. The construct flickered, destabilized by the massive influx of magical kinetic energy, and shattered into amber mist. Alex stumbled, the stamina drain of having his construct destroyed hitting him like a punch to the gut. Daily sign-in cooldown, 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds, location, the first convergence, ley line core, location level, S, legendary, magical. Sign-in available. Proceed? The warden loomed over him, its I-beam sword casting a massive, terrifying shadow. Yes, Alex gasped out, smashing his finger against the holographic button. God, yes. Chime. The sound wasn't a silver bell this time. It was a deafening, harmonic chord that seemed to emanate from the very center of the earth. The entire station lit up with blinding, iridescent light, completely drowning out the warden's violet aura. Time seemed to freeze, the giant crystal knight locked in its downward swing. Sign-in successful. Location grade, S, calculating reward based on location theme, ley lines, raw magic, and convergence. Reward granted. You have received the legendary core ability, Etheric Transmutation Engine. Description: the user's body is now a living conduit for raw magical energy, mana. You may absorb incoming magical attacks to replenish stamina, or convert stamina into highly volatile, condensed mana projectiles. Magical damage resistance increased by 80%. The world snapped back to real time. The warden's sword came crashing down, a concentrated blade of pure, violet magic aimed directly at Alex's head. Alex didn't dodge. He stood his ground, looked up at the towering monstrosity, and grinned. My turn. As the magical blade struck him, it didn't burn. Instead, the violet energy dissolved into his skin, rushing through his veins like liquid adrenaline. His exhaustion vanished. The system interface flickered, a new gauge appearing next to his health, mana capacity, 100%, overcharged. Alex raised his right hand. The blue signer's mark was glowing so brightly it was almost white, but now, veins of violet and amber energy pulsed beneath his skin, swirling around his wrist. Let's see what a condensed mana projectile looks like, Alex said. He snapped his fingers. A sphere of pure, compressed arcane energy the size of a golf ball materialized in front of him. It hummed with terrifying intensity. With a flick of his wrist, he sent it flying upward. It struck the warden squarely in its blank, rune-marked face. The resulting explosion was utterly silent, but the shockwave blew the remaining tiles off the walls and shattered the amber roots hanging from the ceiling. The A+ threat entity was completely vaporized from the shoulders up. Its crystal body stood frozen for a second, then collapsed into an avalanche of mundane rocks and twisted metal, tumbling back down into the misty chasm. Alex stood in the ruined, magical subway station, his breathing heavy but steady. His clothes were singed, his hoodie was more holes than fabric, but he had never felt more alive. A golden loot box floated up from the chasm. Encounter complete. Loot generated. Acquired. Warden score, S-rank crafting material. Acquired. 5,000 system credits. Alex swiped the loot into his inventory and brought up his status screen. He had physical invulnerability, a spectral dinosaur, and a magical fusion reactor in his chest. And he had only been doing this for 5 days. Alright, system, Alex said, looking out over the glowing, impossible geometry of the whale. Where to next?
Soft exhausted. Almost whispered. $4.32. Still clocking in. Still rotting slow. Maybe this is the way out. Focus style.
Can't even cover the interest on rent. Steam rising up from a spicy beef cup. Staring at the floor cause I can't look up. Quiet hours for the mold on the wall. 24 years and I'm taking the fall. Just a dead entry ghost in a dead end maze. Until reality rip right through the haze. Smells, clicks, echo from sets to hell. Every damn second, feel trapped in a cell. Another fake smile when the manager passed. Another dead dream buried under the task. I got scattered in my bloodstream now. Late written notices all take the row. But the second that blue screen came alive, it felt like fate finally got me out.
Confused, mesmerized.
A glitch in the air, a neon blue screen. The craziest hallucination that I've ever seen. What's singing in my head? Do I click yes or do I go back to bed?
My life is a wreck, so what is the logic? But the room froze still when the cursor flashed like the universe broke through the dark and light.
Welcome to the daily grind of divine rewards. Trading in the spreadsheets for system for soul. From the S-grade basement to the S-class heights, I'm hitting signing and I'm taking back my nights. No more drowning in the death, no more standing in line. I just push the glow button and the world is mine. Heels under in my veins while the skyline burns. I was broke in the shadows of a whole world of signs.
Step over the line, hear the siren scream.
Deadly force of the ride, stepping into the dream. Red lasers on my chest, guard shouting on my name, but they don't understand, I'm just playing a game. The shine wings out loud, kinetic community, watch the leg hit the ground. Bullets bounce off like I'm made of the sky. You can't kill a man who was born to defy. I see the view on the cybernetic eye, see the city lights reflecting off the light. Every rule they built and crushed, believe me, I was born at the bottom of the gods can't reach me.
Echelon feeling, running through a neon city with explosion zero.
Welcome to the daily grind of divine rewards. Trading in the spreadsheets for system for show. From the F-grade basement to the S-class lights, I'm hitting sign and I'm taking back my nights. No more running in the dead, no more standing in line. I just push the blowing button and the world is mine. From the basement shadow to the neon throne, now the city screams my name in electric tones.
Counting down my clock. Tomorrow is the museum. Stepping on the block.